train to the plastic underground. Approaching the station, please stand away from the platform edge. What's up, everybody? Caleb here. Welcome to the Plastic Office. Yeah. So I've been pretty busy lately working in the basement on the game room. And instead of just not putting out a video this week, I wanted to do something pretty quick and easy. And literally, it's Wednesday, and my video usually goes up Thursday. And the paint just dried on my stuff. So this week, it might be a little bit of a cop out, but I still think they're really cool, and I will be putting these on the shelf. And kind of keeping up with that original series Star Trek stuff that I've been doing lately. I guess I've become a Star Trek channel. I don't know. That's weird. I have a lot of Star Wars stuff in the works too, if like that's what you are here for, if that's kind of what you found my channel. But lately I've been doing a lot of Trek stuff because Trek is cool, and I've been really enjoying it. So this week I made a couple easy things. I made this is a spanner, an engineering spanner. This is Scotty uses this in a couple episodes, so I thought that was cool. And I love Scotty, so I wanted to make something that he uses. And yeah, this is it's literally just 10 millimeter foam, and that's it. Super simple, but it looks cool, and it looks 60s sci-fi Star Trek. So that's that. The other things I made, this is like literally what I was going to make this week and just have this be the video. I thought that would be a little cheap because they're super easy to make, and I wanted to do something a little extra. So anyway, these are circuit jumpers. And yeah, you see these in the show anytime they're doing like electrical work or working on panels and stuff. Kind of like they're just, I don't really know what they do in the show, but I don't know. They're colorful and they're boxy and they look really cool all together, like different colors sitting up on the shelf. And I thought they were really fun. Yeah, and I like them, and they're cool. So these are literally just 20 millimeter foam, two pieces glued together, and I use my vinyl cutter to cut out the letters with some matte vinyl. Yeah, and that's it. This one is the font that I use for the Plastic Underground, so that's a little bit more on brand. So I thought that was a little fun thing to add. But yeah, so that's it for this week, you guys. I've been really busy, and I hope to put out a video soon, kind of an update on the basement. I've made a lot of good progress down there, so hopefully this holds you over, and I'll see you next week when we do something different. All right. So first thing first is the pattern that I whipped up together. I'm cutting the spanner out first because that's what we'll start with. The spanner was too long to fit on the printer paper, so the head piece there has to get put on the handle part. So I traced the actual fork part first. I flipped that over just to make sure that it is perfectly symmetrical, just in case. And then as you can see here, I'm just marking the middle so that I can get this put in the middle. And then the handle can get traced on there. And so then I just cut this whole section out without cutting the spanner out. Cut the section out, and then I can mark it on the other side of the foam, so that now I know where the glue needs to go. Because this is 5 millimeter foam, and I want this to be 10, so I am gluing two pieces together. These are the little triangle pieces here, the actual like teeth, and those stay 5 millimeter, so those are getting cut out of just the regular 5 millimeter foam. So here is the gluing process here. I'm using some contact cement. You put this on both sides of the thing that you're gluing together. After it dries, you stick them together and the glue bonds to itself. So this works very well for foam. This is a little other technique that I use sometimes where I'm just using a scrap piece of foam and just dipping it and spreading it like a little squeegee, and helps keep the glue thin, and it dries a lot quicker, and it works pretty good. So once that glue is dried, now I can stick the two pieces of foam together. And just to make sure that it is stuck uh, good, I use this little piece of pipe and I just kind of roll it over like a rolling pin. Now using my straight edge here and my razor knife, and I start making all of the straight cuts. When cutting out thick foam like this, I try to do my best to keep the knife straight up and down parallel so that you don't get an angle slice in anything. And so yeah, I just kind of keep going around and I get that the spanner cut out. Now here's the little greebly that goes on top. I don't know if this is the switch or what, but we're going to use the piece that we just cut out of the fork, and that is going to be a 10 millimeter piece of foam. And I'm going to use that and cut this little two-sided triangle piece out. Once that's cut out, I mark on the side where it needs to be beveled, because this is not just a flat piece. This is beveled on both sides. So I mark that with a pen so I can kind of follow that with the blade. And then I just slowly kind of saw through the foam. And it's not going to be 100% perfect, so that's where the Dremel comes into play. You can kind of shape it and make sure that it is even on both sides with the sanding drum. Then I can also go around and really smooth out those corners, make sure that they are smooth. And then I can go ahead and glue all the stuff together, because that's it for the building process. This is why this is like pretty easy, and I really enjoyed making it. So now I glue that little switch piece on. Then I can go ahead and glue the little teeth on. So I glued that one on first, and then when I put this one on, I could tell that it was a little too high. So quickly, before that glue set up, I repositioned it. You can mark these on yours, like from the blueprint. I did not. So this is a little bit of FX paint. This is primer. I think I talked about this in a video before. To me, this stuff, it literally just smells like Mod Podge, and I'm like convinced that this is just Mod Podge. So, but that's fine, because I use that to seal foam. It's a lot cheaper to buy a big container of Mod Podge. So this gives you a good start for the foam. You can put a couple coats of this stuff on. It dries quick and it seals the foam so that you can paint it later and give it kind of a smooth surface. So I had some of this paint in the basement. This is what I used to spray the whole spanner. a little bit of aluminum, and it kind of gives you this little texture, this like metal texture, kind of like a, not really a hammered finish, but kind of like a, just a little bit of a metal texture. So kind of cool, and it kind of gives you that flat aluminum 60s sci-fi look that I was going for. And then obviously just using a little bit of red craft paint to paint the two teeth and the switch on the back. I did red, keep it in kind of theme with like engineering, but I've seen these different colors, but I wanted mine to be red, so I painted it red. And that's pretty much it for the spanner. So now we can move on to the circuit jumpers and cutting out the templates first here. You can change up any of these letters too. These are just kind of what I used. So this is some 10mm foam, and I go ahead and trace all of these parts on the 10mm foam. I cut one out completely because I thought that I would just cut these out and it would be a done deal, but I realized as soon as I cut it out, it wasn't thick enough, and I needed to bulk these up. So I glued these to another piece of 10mm foam, just like we did with the spanner, but now it is 20mm thick. And I also glued that piece I cut out to another scrap piece of 10mm. And I think this is much better. These are supposed to be kind of blocky. They might be too thick now. Not sure. I don't know any of the measurements, honestly, on these things. I just kind of went by what I thought looked good. And yeah. So I get all these guys cut out of this 20mm foam. Nice thing about these is at least they were all straight cuts. There was no curves or anything. So I could just kind of slice these straight cuts through. I kept sharpening my blade just to make sure it stayed sharp. And then again, it's just like that spanner. I used the same FX primer, and I primed all these guys. Now I can go ahead and paint these using some craft paint. Just using some basic blue. I think this blue is called Inkwell blue. So it's like a dark blue. And there's this red. The light blue is the same blue spray paint I used on my desk communicator video. I think that's a Rust-Oleum paint. And I just had it on hand, and I wanted to kind of match that to be the same paint. I've noticed in the original series, there's a lot of colors that they use for stuff that it's kind of the same across the board for even like other parts and stuff. So I wanted to kind of make it match that color and kind of have it be on brand. So then on this one, I went through and I painted it a nice yellow. This is like a bright yellow. So here you go. Here is the software that I use for the cutter. And I'm just sending all that over to the vinyl cutter. And it's cutting out all those little letters. Now I can peel the vinyl off. I can weed all the letters out. So kind of using my blade to help it stick to the thing, because it cut, but it didn't have like a super clean cut so that the vinyl sticks to it. So normally you would use transfer paper to stick to the vinyl and then stick that to the thing, but I was worried about the transfer paper being too sticky and pulling the paint off. So I decided just to use a blade and my hand to just kind of stick these in place. You can also see like the static, it like pulls the vinyl down. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, that's how we did all of these. Yeah, and that is it for the little circuit jumpers there. So that is the video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next week.